What's up, y'all? It's your boy JYD checking back in, live from the Terrible Drawing Room. As always, I appreciate you guys so much. We are like at almost 5,900 subscribers, so thank y'all so much for everyone who subscribed and hit that notification bell on our journey to 6,000 subs, man. Thank y'all so much. I really, truly appreciate y'all, man. Without y'all, there is no JYD world. With that being said, we're going to jump right into the video. Yes, I started boxing at 23 years old, and I turned pro at 26. I only had 6 amateur fights. I was 6-0 with 5 knockouts in the amateurs, and then the remainder of my amateur career was me being in professional camps. That was it. So just think David Benavidez's amateur career, because he didn't have a lot of amateur fights either. And he was in, he was working with pros and in pro camps since he was like 15 years old. Essentially, it was the same thing for me, but I only had 6 fights, and I was 23 years old. So there's that. So those are like the bigger similarities between our paths. What made me start boxing late is typically a question that I'm asked all the time. And it's a number of factors. And if you guys want, I'll make another part of this getting deeper into it. But you just let me know in the comments at some point. But essentially, to make a long story short, because it's much more complicated and much more in depth than this, my daughter needed open heart surgery when she was 3 months old. That is what made me start boxing. I knew I needed to make a better life for my daughter. I was always fighting anyway and stuff like that. As a kid, I could always fight. I was a knucklehead, whatever. So I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and take my shot and get paid at it, take it seriously, and see where it blossoms into. Which led me down the path of boxing and social media, which social media came about for me now close to, I think, 2 years ago. It's been close to like 2 years ago I started social media. But nevertheless, that's what started me into boxing. My daughter needed open heart surgery. She got it. Boom. My daughter's fine now, in case anyone's want to ask in the comments. People typically do say that she's fine now. Mashallah, she's great kiddo. How did I become 14-0 with 13 knockouts? Also 1 draw. I'm not ashamed to say that I got a draw. It was a learning lesson. How'd you get a draw? Who'd you get a draw to? I got a draw because I did not do my job that night. Bottom line. Shout out to Tyreek Green. That's my guy in real life. And that's why I got a draw to. I didn't do my job. He did his job. And that's just how it works. There are no excuses. There is no nothing. I simply did not do my job that night. But yeah, so I became 14-0, 13 knockouts by living in the gym. And also, no, it's not that clear cut. But when I started boxing, I still don't miss days, but I never missed a day. I never missed a day at all, whether it was a snowstorm, whether it was life happening. It didn't matter what it was, whatever you could think of, I've been through it and I never missed a day. And trust me, I've been through the worst of it with boxing, from eviction notices to shut off notices. Never got evicted, mashallah. But all of it, man, like been through all of it. Lost friends, lost family, a whole lot of stuff, dog. But through it all, I never stopped coming to the gym. Ever. This is a fact. I never stopped coming to the gym at any point in time. A lot of people be like, oh, well, I gotta work and I gotta do this and I gotta do that. You just gotta get a job, bro. You gotta work, you gotta get a job, you gotta push forward. It don't matter. We make time for the things that we want to make time for. So if you want to make time for the gym, trust me, you're going to schedule your life around making time to always get in the gym, and then everything else comes second. I started off at Fast Lane Boxing Gym here in Philadelphia, and that's where I spent my entire amateur career at. Then once I went to go turn pro, the Rona hit, and that pushed things back even further. Because initially I did have a job. Initially I didn't have a job when I started boxing. I had money saved up. So for like the first 2 years or so, I did nothing but go to the gym. And like that helped me to close the gap exponentially. Then when I needed to get a job, I ended up getting a job over at Chick-fil-A at the Liberty's place in Philadelphia. Shout out Stanley Cortez. He was the owner of that. I ain't gonna. He has a new Chick-fil-A now, but I'm not gonna say where in case he don't want his info out there. And then I literally resigned from my job because I was supposed to be going pro, and I resigned from my job a week before the Rona hit, and of course nobody knew it was gonna hit, so that pushed everything back. I needed to get another job. At that point in time, Chick-fil-A was gone. So I did work. I worked and worked nights, slept in my car, got up, went straight to the gym, then went home, took a quick power nap, got back up, went to work, and repeated the cycle over and over again. And I did that for another 2 years. And that's just how it goes. I made time for the gym. I didn't go out. I wasn't on the block. I wasn't hanging with my friends. I wasn't talking. I didn't care about that. I got a family. I'm married, but I wasn't, talking to really people at all, unless it was just the gym. And then eventually I started creating content. But yeah, I just cut out anything that wasn't boxing and just made it happen. No smoking, no drinking, no doing any type of drugs or nothing. Just literally eat, sleep, and crap boxing and repeat the cycle over and over again. Did I miss so many events and stuff with my family? Yeah, I did. I missed a lot of time and a lot of stuff that I can't get back, but it was a bigger picture, and it still is a bigger picture with all of this. So it doesn't matter what happens. You gotta just keep pushing forward. And I know that that's not for everybody. I get it. Everybody can't do it. But the ones who can do it, that's what make you different. And I'm not trying to down talk the ones that can't do it. But if you can't do it, if you can't push through no matter what's going on, then you really ought to find something else to do. Because I know that I've dragged my family in this hole way too deep for me to just look up and stop. You can't do it. You gotta run those miles. You can't miss the gym. You can't slack off. If you're starting late, you have to know and understand you are behind the 8 ball, and you need to work like you are behind the 8 ball. It does not come easy. I covered about how my first fight went when on another video on my page where I talked about the lessons that I learned in my pro debut. But I learned a whole lot in my amateur career, even though technically I only had 6 amateur fights. My amateur career taught me so much because I was working with high-level pros. That is another plus that I had for my career. I was working with tons of high-level pros because of the connections that I made in boxing and because of who my trainers were and all that. I worked with a bunch of high-level guys, and it helped me develop that much faster simply because you either get your ass kicked or you kick ass. And I got my ass kicked a whole lot coming up, but eventually I learned how to kick ass. You're gonna have them days where it's rough, but you still gotta push through. Don't be hard on yourself. Just learn from it and keep on keeping on. That's really the end all be all of it. Boxing has been a journey, and again, I'm kind of just touching on stuff, and I'm really drastically overly simplifying all of this because I just really want to know if you guys are interested in more of the intricate details of what is going on, what has gone on, what has taught me, and why I am where I am now. Just trying to see what you guys are interested in the story. So maybe in the comments y'all could tell me, okay, well, what happened with this? What happened with this? What happened with this? And boom, and then I'll happily get into it, or just give a full long story on it. But it'll have to, of course, be in parts. But yeah, I started boxing at 23 years old, man, and turned pro when I was 26, and I'm 30 now. And I'm ranked. If you go on BoxRec right now, I'm ranked number 15 in the U.S. and number 60 in the world, according to BoxRec. So there's that, man. So whatever y'all are curious about with my story of any of this, man, just let me know in the comments. But this is just for anybody who started late, man. If you started late, also another advantage you got from starting late is that you do it because you want to do it typically, right? Sometimes when people have been boxing their whole life, they've been boxing their whole life because their dad is trying to live vicariously through them. So they were forced to box, and they do love it to an extent, but then they get burnt out because you've been doing this since you was 8 and 9 years old, and now you're 19, 20, and you're just like, I'm burnt out of boxing, I'm tired of it. Whereas though I haven't even reached my burnt out stage with boxing. I don't even make no money with boxing, just so we're clear. I make no money with boxing, really, like none virtually. Like my money comes from like other sources, social media, blah blah blah. But like I don't make no money with boxing, bro. Like boxing does not, because I'm independent. I'm not signed to anybody. I'm independent. So there's that. So you gotta know, if you're independent, if you start late, chances are you're gonna be independent and you have to grind hard, 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 hard. If you try and get signed for somebody, you gonna have to grind hard. Because it's a lot, man. It's a lot, and companies see you as a liability. Like, what's your upside for real? You XYZ years old. What's your upside? So you gotta grind with a chip on your shoulder and just know, like, they already count me out, so I don't got nothing to lose, but I got everything to prove. And that's just how you gotta carry it, man. So yeah, man, I did this because I wanted to. And through the good, bad, and ups and downs, I can say I love every second of it because it was my choice and I love it. Can some things be better? Yeah, man. Yep. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, people are like, oh, you get paid on social media. I'm getting by just like y'all getting by. I'm not making no super stupid exorbitant amount of money. I'm not, man. I'm just like the regular guy. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta go across town. I catch the bus. My old lady got a car. She takes the kids to school, pick them up, and things like that. She uses the car. I catch the bus. Well, it is what it is. It's sacrifices that people gotta make. So, yeah, that's just what it burns down to. But thank y'all for lending me y'all ears. And if there's anything that y'all want to know, part 2, more in depth, whatever, man, just let me know. I have no problem with going into details about anything because it happens, man. So, live from the terrible drawing room. I love you guys so much, man. Thank y'all so much for your time. Thank y'all so much for the subscribing, man. We're almost to 6,000 subscribers. So please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that y'all can see anytime that we post. And yeah, man, I love you guys so much. Peace. Beautiful John. Peace.